Hey everybody, welcome to Cousin Jack Carves. So if you use tools, hand tools, power tools, anything with a handle on it, I've got something for you. And it's going to be a real benefit for you. So I'm going to tell you today about a product that you can get for $5, and it's going to have some very immediate benefits for you. It's kind of like having a nice handshake with your tool. So today, you can see I've got this tennis ball. Well, the product I'm talking about comes from the sport of tennis. It's called tennis grip band. So today I'll tell you a little bit more about it. I'll tell you about 7 benefits that you can get immediately when you start using this. And I'll tell you the science behind it. I'll also let you know what I use specifically, the product that I'm using right now that I've tested for several months. And stick around at the end, I'm going to tell you what not to buy, what to avoid when you go shopping for this grip. So I used to use a different grip. Well, let's call it a grip. It's self-adhesive tape. That's what I used to wrap my tools with, and you can see it right here. This has more benefits. Let's start with benefit number 1, reducing vibration. The vibration transfer that comes from anytime you use a tool, especially power tools, but hand tools as well. So there's some science behind this. Back in the 90s, there was a study conducted in Austria. They set up this robotic arm. They brought in some lasers. They wanted to measure whether or not this tennis grip band actually reduced vibration transfer for tennis players when they're playing a tennis match. What they found was statistically significant evidence that it does reduce that vibration transfer. And by reducing that, it reduces the fatigue that you would feel. Think about that when you're carving for hours and hours. Here's another benefit. It reduces slippage. They mentioned that in the study as well. This gives you much better grip. And then you don't have to worry about getting traction, leverage on your tool. If you're like me, you've probably dropped the tool once or twice because sometimes the handles are slick based on the different finish that they put on them. And this wrap really helps with grip. Number 3, I mentioned it earlier, it's like having a handshake with your tool. It's very comfortable. It's got this cushion feel to it, and there's just a slight bit of tackiness, just a touch. It really does feel good, especially when it's brand new and you first put it on. Number 4, durability. This wrap lasts a lot longer than the other wrap that I showed you. That adhesive wrap, you wear through it, you can see through it after a while. So far, I've never had to replace this, although I can. It's very easy to replace, but it lasts longer than the other wrap. And you can write on it. What's the benefit? Well, if my tool is in a sheath or it's in a tool holder, I know right away what it is because you can write directly onto this grip. And number 6, it protects your tool handle. You know, when you're out there working on stuff, you get dirt and grime, sometimes just the oil from your hands that can change the coloration of your tool handles. And this really does help protect them. And number 7, if you have a tool handle that's not quite the size that you like, maybe you want it to be a little larger, you can just double wrap it, increase the girth on that tool to fit into your hand even better. So those are 7 immediate benefits you can get from this one product. So now I'm going to show you again what I use. I'll give you a demo on how I apply it really quick. Doesn't take long at all. And then, like I said, stick around. I'm going to tell you what to avoid, what not to buy. Hit that like button for me. Let's go inside. Okay, folks, I'm going to go through the demo real quickly here. And let's start with the product that I'm using. This is Wilson. That's the brand. And this is their Pro Overgrip Comfort. And Sonny's got a close-up for you on the actual name. There are a lot of different makers, a lot of different styles, colors, you name it. This is just the one that I've been using and I've tested. You can get a package of 3 overgrip bands for about $5. And each one of those bands can wrap 2 or 3 different handles, depending upon the size of the handles. So yeah, you can wrap a lot of stuff. I've even wrapped the handle on my strop. That's how much I like it. Okay, so let's start. First, we're going to take off this outer wrapping. Don't throw this away, folks. This is tape. And this is how you finish your product here. You put a little tape on the end of it to hold it in place. So keep that. Next, you're going to take the overgrip band and you're just going to unroll it all the way. Part of the reason is that at the other end, you have a tapered end, and that's really where this starts. There's also a little patch that covers up a tiny bit of adhesive, and that's how you get this thing rolling. So as we get down to the end, you can see it's starting to taper, and right here you can see there's this covering. There's a little adhesive right there. On the back side, it's got this plastic film, and you just peel that off as you go, or you can peel it all off at the beginning. So today I'm going to wrap this brand new Helvey knife that I got. This is a 1 3/4 inch rough out sweep. It's got a little up sweep to the blade, and I want to protect this handle. Really is beautiful, and I want to keep it looking that way. So I have modified my approach a little bit. What I showed you earlier was this knife. You can see that the butt end of it is not covered. It's kind of hard to do the butt end of a tool. So I do take a little bit of this gauze to cover the butt end on my tool. So this stuff is very sticky and adhesive to itself, right? It's not going to hurt your tools in any way. And it does form around the butt end of your tool pretty well. So I just take that, put it on there, stretch, and wrap, just to get the butt end of that knife covered up, or whatever tool you're going to wrap. Then I take my overgrip, remove that little piece of covering, and let's start wrapping. So what you'll do with this is kind of stretch and pull and turn. You want to make sure that you have a little bit of an overlap as you go. Like I said, stretch. You can see how it kind of stretches out. I like to keep about 1/4 inch on the overlap, just the way I like it. You can have a larger overlap there. You can have less. Do what you like. I'm taking the sheath off here. Going to be extra careful now. Something I wanted to tell you is that even if you have an overgrip wrapped around your handle, your sheath is still going to fit just fine. I have no issues with any of the knives that I've wrapped. It did not impact the way that the sheath fit, which is a good thing. Okay, so we're stretching, turning, and we're getting down to the end where we're going to just finish this up. When I get to the point where I like it, probably about here, I'm just going to cut that. Like I say, you're going to have extra. These are designed to wrap tennis rackets. Some people wrap baseball bats, golf clubs, you name it. Anything that doesn't move. Lately, I've been wrapping them. All right, so this is where that tape comes in. Remember, I said don't throw this away. You're going to be using that. Of course, you could use some other tape if you have something else you prefer. Any sort of tape. Just take it over here and put it on that piece. And you have wrapped your knife. I tell you, it feels fantastic. It's super. So the next step, write on it. And this is really cool, right? You can just come up here. You can replace this every so often. I have not had to do that yet. Not something that I've encountered. It lasts a long time. It's pretty durable. There you go. We've got our demo finished. We have our knife all wrapped up. Let me tell you what to avoid when you go out to buy a grip. So, tennis players have been using this stuff for decades now. It's called an overgrip. You do not want to purchase what's called a base grip or a hard grip. Every tennis racket, when it's coming out of the manufacturer, it has that base grip on there. And you can buy a replacement base grip, but you don't want that because it has this very adhesive, sticky backing to it. And if you put that on your tool, it's going to gum up your tool handle. Don't get that. What you want Overgrip, just like it says right on here on this handle. The Overgrip is replaceable. It does not have that adhesive backing on there. So you can Google tennis Overgrip. There are lots of different varieties and brands, lots of different makers from all over the globe. Some of them are extra tacky. Some have a little bit more sweat absorption. Lots of different types you can get. So just Google that, tennis Overgrip. Get out there and take a look, see what you would like to use. This one right here is the Wilson Pro Comfort. I like it a lot. Thanks, folks. Hit that like button for me, and we'll see you next time.